Hello,
Hello.
hello, IG family. Happy
Happy
Saturday, y'all.
Saturday. Let me get this
It's so
music.
crazy. I feel like I have not been live on Instagram or TikTok in forever.
Hey,
What's
yo.
going
Hey,
on
yo.
is welcome. Happy Saturday. Hey,
Hey,
Helen.
Helen.
Happy Saturday. Welcome,
Yes,
y'all,
y'all.
to Healing Conversations. We started 30 minutes late, but we here.
Right. We had some calendar conflicts with the meeting room we have. So
We came and we're
we're
here.
here, and you
Well,
might start seeing us virtual.
yes, but
We'll see. Yes.
welcome to Healing Conversations, y'all. As you know, this is our space of healing, expansion, growth. We talk all things of that. And as we heal individually, we create the ripple that supports the collective.
Yes, and yes. And if you are from Ramel's page and you don't know who I'm is, my name is Angelique. I do artistry, I do youth mental wellness advocacy, I am an author. And I've really been enjoying that journey, and I've been enjoying this journey of co hosting Healing Conversations with Ramel. It really is such a beautiful life when you get to be on your spiritual journey out loud and you have
Mm.
people with you that are helping you to grow and expand and reach new levels and layers of yourself. And you all are a part of that journey. So
Mhm.
definitely let us know in the comments what you're thinking, how you're feeling, what's resonating for you. If it's not resonating, just allow it to flow by like a cloud.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm really grateful for the space and these conversations. They help me so much. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into it today.
Yeah, so let's dive into it so we could honor the time that we have.
Yes.
So today we're going to be having a conversation about embracing the lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And this really came through Sister Angelique and I were talking before we hopped on and just catching up because we hadn't really seen each other in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to catch up to see where we were, what we have been experiencing, all the things, and what common theme that came to the conversation is lessons. And life has a way of, I don't like to say testing you, but reminding you what you are committed to is
Mm-hmm.
what it resonates more than saying a test. And I know for me, there's been a lot of things that I've been wanting to intentionally, consciously release. Um, but the first thing I had to do is become aware that they were no longer in alignment with me. Because I like to say that everything serves a purpose until it doesn't. But a lot of times we try to stay in alignment because of the familiarity with what it is that we're used to doing or how we're used to showing up or what we're used to interacting with. So really been aware of like what is no longer in alignment with me. What do I not feel pulled to? What am I doing just on auto repeat? What do I know is draining versus filling?
Yes.
And really just really analyzing and observing where I see energy going that isn't of expansion, where I see energy flowing, which is of expansion and growth, and having a choice in which I want to take inspired action. But I want to speak to when you do make that choice to take inspired action of committing to a new way of being, that's when life reminds you what you are committing to because it will send different things to see, okay, are you going to go back or are you going to allow yourself to move forward? And for me, I've been in the practice of really honoring what I've committed to. And just to give you some examples of certain things that I've committed to. So, one of the things that I committed to was to be celibate. So, I started that journey on my birthday, February the 8th. It's been over a month.
Wow.
I know. It's like,
Dang. Time is zoom.
and even with that I'll just so I won't pop it all over that part of it. There's been encounters that I've had which an old way would have done something out of obligation or done something out of expectation. But I really felt so liberated because I committed to what I said I wanted to. And there was a point where one of the situations that I was in question, like, okay, do you let them know that like you're not in the hookup right now, like you're not in that energy, or do you just show them?
Mm.
And there was something in me was like, you don't have to speak it when you are it. You're only speaking it because you're trying to convince yourself of something that you're trying to become versus when you are the boundary. It's not something that you have to tell the world, you just show the world. So I was able to embody this commitment by not opening that door to even let that encounter happen. And y'all, like, in a sense, like I learned the lesson is what I'll say, because it was like, okay, now you know you can be in situations that would be what you call tempting or make you kind of question what you are honoring and committing to, but you know that you can do it. And the thing about this physical human experience is once the mind has physical results, it knows that it's possible. So it emerges from an unknown to a known. And now there's a reference that you can have to see that you can do it. So I landed there because I want to hear Sister Angelique. And if anything is resonating with you all, leave it in the comments. Send a request to come up and say, hey, if you're feeling called to. But yeah, what's coming through for you?
Good stuff. Good stuff. A few things were popping up, but I'm gonna just tap on that kind of last bit of experience. Like, I feel that often we don't recognize how powerful allowing ourselves to have experiences is. I was just having a conversation with somebody earlier during a prayer call about how they were navigating some different opportunities, and the opportunities did not go as they were like wanting for, like praying for, and they were able to step back from it not going their way and recognize how it was strengthening their muscle of resilience, because they saw how their life and their choices and their decision making muscle had kind of atrophied because they didn't want to face disappointment. So they didn't allow themselves to step into certain opportunities or pursue certain things or speak up or, like really put themselves out into life because they didn't want to deal with the devastation of it. Um, and I think that a lot of us find ourselves there and we wonder why we don't have the courage, and we wonder why we are so complacent and we're so comfortable with where we are, but we're actually not that comfortable. We really want change, but we have this anxiety or this fear, this nervousness or this hesitation about doing new things. It's because we don't have the experience of doing new things. Mm-hmm. And it's so powerful when we allow ourselves to step into that unknown space. I was telling Raymel earlier how things are shifting in my own environment, in my own atmosphere, and how things are stretching me because I am being put into situations where I am the end of the lane as far as it goes to asking questions or answering questions or getting results or like making things happen. And that's not a place that I'm used to being in. We've had a conversation here on Healing Conversations about my old pattern of just waiting for other people to tell me what to do and not stepping fully into my leadership. But over this past year or so now, it's been a little time. I've really been allowing myself to step more into that leadership and step more into being the person who makes the decisions or who is whose opinion is heavily considered when making decisions. And just knowing how to ask for support, knowing how to say no, knowing how to say yes, and this is what I want, yes. um, and that is a new experience for me, and it is stretching me and pulling me, and I'm grateful for all of the little experiences that have stepped me into this moment so that I can stretch with more grace and understanding. Um, and yeah, I just really feel like a lot of us don't have the exactly how to no means no, whether it's a personal or professional. It's, just let it be what it is. But a lot of us haven't not allowed ourselves to have those experiences. Um, and there was definitely a time when that was me. I've been a pretty open person most of my life. I like to be adventurous and try new things. However, when it came to things like being a leader, I wasn't really willing to take that leap. I was like, nah, I'm gonna just see over here.
Until you tell me to do it.
Until you listen. Don't you never catch me doing something uninitiated. You feel me? Like, if you ever caught me doing anything, somebody told me to do this. Somebody told me to do this. And we have this tendency to stay in those habits, to stay in those patterns, even when they aren't feeding us. How many of us have been there? How many of us have stayed on the sidelines and just waited for things to come to us or pass us by or tell us to move? Listen, these experiences, when you let yourself in micro moments, I'm going to be a leader here. I'm going to choose to make a decision about where we're going to eat tonight. And I'm going to say yes or I'm going to say no. And I'm going to allow that to feed into my sense of decisionship. You feel me? And then, next time it's like, oh, what trip or vacation do we want to take? Oh, I'm going to make the decisions on this. And it expands your sense of decisionship. And then, at your job, somebody says, hey, we have this project, or we have this campaign, or we have this client, right? Oh, I have an idea and I'm going to present it. And next thing you know, somebody's like, oh, I like this. Let's go with this. Now you're expanding little by little by little. It doesn't have to be some like major life altering, you go into your job, you bust into the conference room or whatever your manager's office is like, this is how we're doing things. And I'm the boss now. No, I mean you could, but the but the path of doing it that way, you're probably not going to strengthen your decision making. You're probably going to shrink yourself back because the odds of you being rejected in that moment are higher. Not that your idea isn't popping, not that people aren't open, but it's just your energy going into a situation like that, it's not grounded. It's very like a manic decision. It's not coming from the experience of having put yourself out there, made a decision, had the results come through. Put yourself out there, made a decision, had the results come through. And you have this familiarity, right? It's just like a random, I'm jumping off the cliff. Literally. And so, yeah, I just wanted to touch on and unpack that a little bit about just the power of experience and how it really does help us when we are navigating challenges or wanting things to be different. Just really leaning into, like he said, having that experience and allowing it to feed your confidence as you move forward. But yeah.
I love that you brought and reiterated the experience into it because that's how you're able to practice. what you've learned and what you've gathered. And that's how you can see that it works. Because a lot of times we get lost in over consuming information. We become information junkies. So we know a lot, but we don't know how to do what we know. And that's where we get lost in the intellect. We have to understand, we have to make meaning and sense of things. But in reality, when you allow yourself to have experiences, you're able to see that I can keep my word to myself. I can be in environments and situations and not lose myself. I can do things that honor myself and not feel like I have to neglect myself because that's what I was taught or see everyone else doing. So you're able to truly be in practice. And through practice is when you're able to have confidence even when you're navigating through experiences because that lack of confidence leads to self-doubt, uncertainty, fear, which keeps you in this puddle of stagnation because you're like, well, I don't know what's outside of this water, even though this water is dirty, even though it ain't really serving me, but I don't know what's on the other side. And not knowing what's on the other side keeps you feeling like you're suffering inside. And one of the other experiences that I am currently having is I have extended and let someone like crash at my house for 2 weeks. And this is a big I said this is even bigger than a celibacy, okay? I would say it's bigger than that only because I don't know if I want to say I probably mentioned that's the reason why I'm doing the celibacy, but